Hey, nerds! We're able to keep Venture Forth ad-free thanks to our amazing patrons. To help keep this podcast free of ads, check out our Patreon. Link in our description. Now on to the show.
Hi, I'm Olma.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, the party had entered an encounter with Chath. After a harrowing battle, Shraya fell to a dangerous metal poisoning. The rest of the party was sent in different directions to try and find different components for an antidote. And as they all run off into the distance, Olma, you have been charged with finding a cower cactus thorn. You look down at the map in front of you and see the different circles that the herbalist had drawn on the map for you. Different places of where these different components would be. Some to the north, one off into the ocean, one down to the south, and another down to the south. You see a circle on the map where you are charged with going to find a cower cactus thorn. So as the rest of the party runs off in their missions, what would you like to do?
Where does it show me going on the map? Where's that circle?
So that circle that is tasked with you is directly south of Saddlemount. You're going to be traveling out of the city just a little bit, and there is a little bit of a peninsula on the southern side of Saddlemount, and the circle is right on the tip of that peninsula.
Okay, so I'm staying fairly close.
You are staying fairly close to the city.
How long do I think it'll take me to get myself there?
If you're moving quickly, maybe just over an hour.
Okay, so I have plenty of time to get there. I have a day to do it.
Yes.
As I watch my friends scatter, I'm going to take a kind of a deep breath. I'm alone for the first time in a really long time. And I start to head off that way. And as I'm walking, I kind of stumble on my feet a little bit. I feel so bone tired, just so completely weakened. And remembering that I cast a very, very strong spell twice in a row, I just feel like I can't even keep my eyes open any longer. It's kind of everything's hitting me. All of the adrenaline that I was running on through the entire battle has just kind of left me completely. Is there anywhere that I can go and find in this town to rest before I take off?
Yes, moving through the town, you have seen a couple of inns going through, a couple that look fairly comfortable.
Mm-hmm. What time is it? If I look up at the sun, where is it in the sky?
It's probably about an hour until sunset.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna find the nearest inn that looks moderate. Doesn't need to be fancy.
Okay.
And try to get a long rest in before heading out at first thing in the morning, just before sunrise.
All right. You look around and you do find an inn fairly quickly, as you see a number of travelers, about 10 travelers, all with their different bags of different sizes, their different items, all attempting to pile into this inn. And you finally get inside the inn, and you see a long line to the front counter.
God.
But it moves fairly quickly as these travelers are then dispersed into their different rooms. You're able to finally get to the counter and get a room for yourself. And it sort of hits you how busy this port town is with all of the incoming traffic. But eventually you are able to get yourself a fairly decent room, perfectly comfortable for you, and begin resting for the night. Is there anything you would like to do during your rest? Would you just like to sleep? What are you feeling like?
I think just to kind of... Honestly, I'm so exhausted, I think I'm going to conk right out.
Okay.
I'm just going to pass right out in the hopes of waking up as soon as possible so I can help. Can I have asked the person at the front to make sure that, is there any kind of, wake-up call I can do? Any kind of wake-up routine that they let you have?
Yes, they have that available.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that I set a wake-up time so that I don't oversleep, knowing how exhausted I am. I want to make sure I'm
For sure.
I'm up, and I'm used to having my party there to wake me up from a long rest.
Awesome. All right. As soon as your head hits the pillow, you are out, and it is a night of deep and relaxed rest as you take a full rest, and are gently awoken the next morning by a soft little knock on your door, and a little slip of paper that comes in through the door. And as you get up and walk over, the little slip says, sunrise in 30 minutes. And you look around, and it is still sort of that very early morning glow. The sun hasn't really come up yet, but you are just sort of able to see everything's a little bit blue and hazy. But you have woken up for the morning.
Okay, so I have about, 16 hours left?
Yeah, closer to about 14 at this point with
Okay.
finding the inn, checking in, getting yourself settled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 14 hours left. I'm gonna grab all my things, leave. How much was the room? Just leave it on the...
Yeah, that'll be 2 gold pieces.
Okay, I'm gonna
for the
leave.
night.
I'm gonna leave the 2 gold pieces just on the counter. And Boogie.
Okay. All right. You see the sun rising out over the water, and you have a full day ahead of you. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the map again and make my way out into the unknown.
Awesome. So, you move out through Saddlemount, and you move closer towards the southern edge of this city. And as the city sort of comes to a close, houses and shops and buildings become less and less frequent, and you are eventually able to see the beach off to your right. And just off in the distance, you can see a couple of Ondale naval ships sort of just floating there off of the coast. But you continue moving south and continuing on. I'm going to have you make a survival check as you're moving south to read this map.
$17.
17. All right. You are able to sort of place yourself relative to the beach to where you know exactly where you're going, and you know exactly where this spot is that you're supposed to go. As you get down to the southern edge of this coast, you start to see little shacks every once in a while set up along the beach. Stuff that sort of casts your mind back to the little shack that James had set up by the river. It looks like a couple of fishing shacks with some smaller rowboats set up right next to them. But eventually, you come down to the point of this peninsula, and the sand and sort of the serene beaches around you begin to fade, and the land beneath your feet starts to become more rocky in texture. Not the soft sand that you had been walking in, but these large boulders begin to jut out of the ground. And as you begin moving more and more south, you just see the point of the peninsula, the ocean in front of you, and a small house off to your right.
Is it like a cliff peninsula, or is the water right there, or is it below?
It does look like it comes to. It's tough to see sort of at this angle as you're approaching it, but the way that you're judging the distance, you can see that there's probably a little bit of a cliffside. Yes.
I'm gonna look at the map again and see the circle. Am I basically right where the circle is, where I need to go?
Yes.
I'm gonna look around. Do I see anything that looks like? I know it's mostly rocky. Do I see anything that looks like flowers or cactuses or thorns or plant life of any kind?
Really, the extent of the vegetation that you see is maybe a little bit of moss on some of the rocks from that damp coastal air that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about the extent of it.
Well, this can't be right. There's no plants here. Can I look over the cliff edge?
Yeah, you can go right up to the cliff edge, and you look down, and your heart immediately sinks into your stomach as you can see it drops probably a couple 100 feet.
Oh. Do I see any plant life down there?
You do not. No.
Thank God. Oof. I'm gonna shimmy my way back from the cliff edge. But there's the shack.
You did see a house a little ways back, yes.
Yeah, I don't see any kind of plants around me, right?
No.
I'll go back to the house.
Okay. As you approach this house, the boulders and the rocky ground around you make way a little bit for what looks like a little bit of a man-made path. It sort of clears the rocks out a little bit to reveal the sand underneath. And as you approach this house, you see that it is a pretty sizable house. Probably quite a few bedrooms. Looks like maybe a mansion at one point. But you can tell it has just been battered by the wind of the beach here. All of the paint on the wood on the exterior has been completely chipped away. You can see a lot of the beams have been rotted through. And you can hear, as the breeze comes through, you can hear the wooden shutters on the windows creaking and banging open and closed with the wind that's coming through.
I'm gonna walk up to the door.
Okay.
And knock.
As you knock, you hear this hollow knock reverberate throughout the entire house. And as the wind blows, the house almost feels like the house itself shudders as you knock.
Hello? Anyone home? You said there's shutters, so is there a window in the front of the house?
There are multiple windows. You can see a couple of them boarded up.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them, the shutters are just barely hanging on their hinges.
Can I find one of the windows and pry one of the boards off and look inside one of the windows?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You pry off one of the boards and you look inside, and you can see the early morning light that's just coming through is casting these direct beams through the boards into the interior. You don't see any light coming from within, and anywhere that the light doesn't creep in through these boards is almost pitch black.
I'm gonna look around again. I don't see any plants. Any plant
You don't
life.
see any plants. No, you actually do see hanging on the front porch area. You do see a couple of hanging planters.
Okay.
But all of the flowers within them are long dead.
Yeah. And there's nothing else nearby, and there's no. And I'm gonna look back at the map again. I don't see anything else.
Yep, you don't see anything else.
Okay. I'm gonna go around the house and see if there's another point of entry other than the front door that might be open, or another door that I can knock on, or.
You go around the back of the house, and you can see that there is almost this secondary piece of the house that almost maybe looks like it was built after the original house was constructed. It looks like a piece that was just sort of attached to the side. And you do see a door there.
It's still rocky around us, or is it now sand and rocky?
It is mostly sand here at this point. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna knock on the side door. Hello? Anybody home? Can I come in? Hello?
No response.
No response? I'm gonna take that as a yes. And I'm gonna try the doorknob.
It stops as you turn it halfway, as the lock stops you. But just with the gentlest of taps, you feel the lock mechanism within break.
Oh.
And you feel the door handle on the other side of the door completely fall off. You hear it bang across the floor. As you pull back, you have the doorknob in your hand, and the door in front of you swings open.
Sorry. I'll fix that, I think. And I'm just gonna keep the doorknob with me. My half of the doorknob just in my hand. As I cross the threshold.
Okay.
What do I see?
You can barely see anything in this darkness apart from the light that's cast in from the doorway. Your nose is immediately filled with the smell of mildew and rotting wood.
Okay.
Yeah, it smells like this place has not been taken care of for a long time. You step in, and the first floorboard that you step on creaks.
Well, I'm going to step back and avoid it.
Okay.
And as I move forward now, I'm going to test each step before I put my full weight on it.
Every single board creaks as you step on it. You are not able to find a single board that doesn't creak.
And so I'm going to just try to move fast and faster.
Okay. All right. As you scurry your way past the threshold and actually make your way into a much larger space, your eyes begin to adjust. And as you look around, your eyes are beginning to take in several couches, a fireplace off in the corner, spider webs all over it. Furniture and tables and everything weathered with salty sea air and time.
Do I see any like lanterns, or not lanterns, or like gas lamps, or any kind of like any kind of like candle that might be on the wall, or like any kind of, or on the side table, anything that I can hold and light?
You do see a very small candelabra on the side table of one of these couches. The candles themselves have been burned almost all the way down to the very bottom. There's still a little bit of candle wax on there, but they're very short candles.
Okay. I will take out some flint.
Okay.
Or I have a tinder box. So let me use my tinder box to light up the candelabrum. So it's 3 beams of light.
Okay.
From that, right?
Yep.
And I will put the doorknob down on the table and grab the candelabrum and light it. And then as I light it, I will also cast control flames to like triple or double the...
Okay.
I think I can double it. 1 second. Expand it 5 feet in front of me.
All right. As soon as the light
Double it. Yeah, I want to double the bright light.
Okay, as soon as the light expands out and makes its way around the corners, and you can see everything within this room, all of a sudden, you hear echoing off of the walls, "Turn it off.
The light?
Turn it off.
I'm gonna dim it.
Off.
I'm gonna turn it off.
All right. You hear from upstairs, thud, 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 as someone walks on the floorboards right above you.
I'm sorry. I knocked.
Go away.
I will. I'm just looking for something and maybe you can help me.
There's no one here that can help you.
You're here?
Get out!
Okay, I'll go. I'm just looking for a cactus flower. My friend is dying and I just need a cactus flower. Thorn.
Thud, 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 thud. You hear the footsteps walking to the floorboards above you. You hear them now at the top of the stairs in the corner.
I'm gonna grab the doorknob handle, like the doorknob that I broke again, and I'm gonna crouch down under the table.
Thud, thud. You see 2 heavy boots begin to come down the stairway. 2 heavy boots that are rotted away and almost falling apart. You see the legs with baggy leather pants, ripped at the knees and towards the hip. Coming up, you see the shoulders and the chest. You can see an orange military uniform, similar to the soldiers that you had seen at the dock.
Orange. Is orange Addersfeld or Keldor? Do I know?
Orange is Ondale.
Ondale.
Yes. And with each footstep now, you can hear the slight metal clanging of several metals. Metals of accommodating military valor on their chest. And finally, you can see the head, long, black, sopping hair dripping down to the floor. And as they turn to you, you can see half of a beard, long gray hairs on their face. That stops about halfway through, where fish skin and this blob of scales protrudes off of their face. You can see, as they look at you, both of their eyes are yellow. and spaced far apart, looking like a fish. You came to my home to keep someone from dying. Why?
Well, I knocked and no one answered. My friend was poisoned, and the flower lady with the eyes that are not in her eyes, she told us that I needed to get a cower cactus thorn, and I don't know where it is, but I was told to go in this direction, but then I got to the cliff and there was nothing, and this was the only thing here, so now I'm asking. I'm sorry.
No one has harvested cower cactus for years.
Right.
Where you are going, there is only death.
Huh?
You do not want to continue on this path.
But I have to. My friend will die.
Then your friend is dead.
No, he's not. He's alive.
I will not help you.
Okay, but do you know where I'm going? Do you know where I have to go? I'm still under the table.
Come
Just
out
like-
so I can see you.
Okay. And I'll slowly put one hand out from under the table and then the other, and I'll just slowly crawl my way out from under the table and stand up.
Both of his fish eyes fixate on you. And now you can see scarring all over the right side of his face. You can see fish hooks made into earrings hanging down the sides of his ears.
Whoa.
You're too young to go where I would take you.
I'm not too young. I can do it. I can help.
Make a persuasion check for me.
8.
8. That is not a place for a child. I will not take you there.
I'm not a child. I can do it. I have to help my friend. He's gonna die, and everybody else is going to get their items, and I have to get mine, or else I'm useless to everybody. So you have to let me.
Your fate will then not be in my hands. I can take you where you need to go, but I will not go with you.
Why? What's so scary about it?
I have sent people there to their deaths before, and I told myself no more.
What's so special about this thorn anyway?
This thorn has many properties. Healing. I can bring people back from devastating injuries. People go there to sell and to use it for profit. But you wish to save your friend only. So that is why I will only take you there. But I will not follow.
What am I gonna find there?
I don't know.
Are you sure you don't want to help? Because I am pretty small, and I could use a hand.
Your fate is your own. As he turns around and limps over towards the fireplace, reaches down and grabs an old wooden cane and continues limping towards the door.
I still have my hand on the doorknob, and I'm gonna run after him.
You meet him right at the front door. He opens the doorway, and as soon as the sunlight hits him, he sort of cowers for a second, and all of his muscles tense before he takes a moment to relax, take a breath for himself, and take a step outside. He begins walking along the path as you follow him, and he walks with you towards the peninsula, and he walks towards the cliff with you. And he walks off to the right of where you were and continues on the cliff face. Continues walking for a few minutes. Continues walking for 20 minutes. Before the cliff face juts out just a little bit. And a staircase made of stone, only maybe 2 feet wide, juts out from the cliff face.
Well, that's not where the circle was. I never would have found this. She should really be better at circles on maps and helping us identify them.
Take this down to the beach below. Walk back for 10 minutes. You will find a cave. That is where you will find her cactus.
Okay, what? Like 100 feet down. What does it look like? Is there anything I should know about it that I can maybe identify it better?
It is a small sphere. Glows blue in the dark. And is topped with a brilliant yellow flower.
Well, thanks for your help. I'm Olma.
He turns and starts walking back towards the house.
I have your doorknob. Okay. And I'll start
All right.
walking.
You start walking down this path, this staircase that's only about 2 feet wide. Even if you look over the side just a little bit, you feel your balance might shift and you could fall hundreds of feet.
My fingers are touching the cliff face.
You're touching the cliff face on one side. You've got a sheer drop on the other. And as you take each step, you feel the sea breeze come up and almost batter you up against the rocks and make your footing uneasy.
Oh, come on.
You continue walking down. Slowly, it takes you about 10 minutes. You get about halfway down. Your foot steps on one of the stones. As it crumbles underneath your foot, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw.
Oof. 5.
A 5. Your weight completely shifts off of this staircase. And in this moment of weightlessness, you feel yourself falling. What are you doing?
I'm falling towards the open end.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to shift my pack on my back so that the weight of it can kind of pull me so that I'll fall on my side onto the stairs.
Okay. Make another dexterity saving throw at advantage because of the pack.
9.
A 9. You throw your pack up and it slips off of your shoulder. Your pack lands on the stairs, but you and your body fall off of the stairs. You are just able to reach up and grab one hand onto the stairs.
I want to try to swing my legs onto the, just clinging on for dear life. I'm gonna, with one hand, try to pull the other hand up and throw the doorknob that was in my hand up onto the staircase so that I can hold on with both hands, and try to swing my legs.
Okay, make an acrobatics check for me.
Crit fail.
Oh no! You begin falling. And you see just below you another piece of the cliff jutting out. As you fall directly onto your back, you take 16 points of bludgeoning damage as you land right on your back and your head hits the stone right in the back.
Oh. Oh. Oh no. I'm gonna roll onto my side. I'm seeing double. And I'm gonna look around me. What do I see now that I'm on this jutted out piece of...
You are on this piece that is no bigger than 4 feet by 3 feet, jutting out from the side of this cliff. You look up and you see the stairs continuing on straight in front of you, And you also see the beach about 30 feet below you.
Okay, so there are stairs in front of me. Or no?
No, you see the stairs continuing just on past you.
But like above?
But above you,
above.
Yes.
Okay, yes. How high up is where I came from?
It is 25 feet up.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
On the ethereal plane, do I have to...
Great way to start a question.
On the ethereal plane, do I need like a material plane equivalent to what I'm doing? Like when I move on the ethereal plane, I also move on the material plane, and I can show up in different places.
Yes, yeah. So if you are moving in the ethereal plane, your movement would then be matched in the physical plane.
Okay.
Yes.
Between here and the steps above me, is there any kind of like if I were to go rock climbing, is there any kind of like hold point where I'd be able to at least get a hand on for 6 seconds?
You do see a very small gap in the rock that you would theoretically be able to fit a hand into. Yeah.
Is it within 10 feet of me?
It is just about 10 feet. You would probably have to, if you were there, you'd probably have to reach.
Okay. I'm gonna look everywhere I'm going, and I'm gonna rub my head and try to stand up. And I'm gonna reach my hand for that space. I can only reach about 6 feet above, above the ground. Really, I'm 5 feet tall, and I have another maybe foot with my hand. So I'm reaching and reaching and reaching, and I'm gonna jump a little bit to try and get it. And I'm gonna, oh, come on! And I smack my hand against the wall, and as I do that, I blink out of existence, and everything around me turns like a gray color, so that everything I see becomes this like void of color. And I am now at that 10 feet. My hand's now in that crevice, holding myself.
Okay.
So I do need to roll for that.
Okay. Yeah, roll for that.
So that's a 19.
Okay,
so it's
nice.
higher than an 11, so we're good.
Good.
So I am in the ethereal plane still. Wild magic, 14.
Okay.
Oh my god. And I squeeze tighter. Okay. Again. And I tried to do it, but I can't quite I don't know what I did the first time to make it happen. So, I put my hand back down, and I'm starting to slip a little bit. Oh, come on! And as I'm putting my hand up, I smack my hand against the wall again and blink out of existence again.
And with that second casting of that spell, you find yourself blinked back into existence up on the staircase. You see just a couple of stairs above you, a crumbled stair, and your bag right there, just below.
Okay. I don't want to do that again. And I'll take my bag, and I'll take the doorknob, and I'll slowly take the rest of the stairs down. But now each step I take, I'm going to be putting my foot on it and then putting it right back on the step above me as I go down, knowing it's going to take me longer.
And with that little bit of extra caution, you're able to take a few extra minutes and make your way all the way down to where your foot meets the sand and the beach below. As soon as you get to the sand below, you take a moment of breath, take a moment of pause. You look around and you see the ocean sort of lapping up on the sand right there at your side. And you look over towards the cliff face ahead of you. And you see, just off in the distance, a rowboat rowing up towards the beach. You see two figures in the rowboat. It's just too far away for you to see any details of these figures.
Is there anywhere for me to hide?
It is a sheer cliff face on your left and an ocean on your right. And you get the sense that these two figures have not seen you. In the way that they move, the way that they're pulling up the boat, you get the sense that they do not see you yet.
Okay, I'm going to stay by the stairs. And kind of hover into the wall and think, my cloak is yellow. Maybe if they can't see me.
All right.
And try to hide, try to be as stealthy as possible.
Okay. As you continue to stand there and you watch these two figures, you stay perfectly still, and you see one of the figures gets off of the boat onto the beach. You see the figure in the rowboat begin to row away back out into the ocean. You see the other figure that's standing there on the beach turn around and walk towards the cliff face. Walk into the cliff face. You now see a cave just ahead of you where that figure walks into.
I'm gonna follow the figure at a reasonable distance.
Okay.
But before I do that, I'm gonna dig into my backpack and take out a healing potion.
Okay.
Because I'm rubbing my head and it still hurts so much, and I know I have so much to do, and I'm just like, the fish man has gotten me so scared about what I'm gonna face inside of this cave that I feel like having a knocked head and like not being able to see straight really is not gonna be the most helpful thing in this situation. So I'm gonna take a healing potion.
And let me know how much healing that is.
7 points of healing.
7 points of healing, okay.
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna like try to stealthily follow this figure.
Okay. You begin approaching this cave entrance, and as the figures walked into the cave, you lose sight of them for a moment. But as you approach the cave entrance, you turn the corner, and immediately in front of you, you see a dark cavern descending down into the ground. You look forward, and you can barely even see through the darkness. All you can see is a slight fog emanating from within.
Do I see the figure?
Looking very closely, you just see a figure disappear into the fog as you approach.
Does the figure have a light that they're using?
As this figure is entering the cave, you can see a torch spark to light, dimmed a little bit by the fog that surrounds them. But you can see they continue on into the fog.
Knowing that the fishman, who wouldn't give me his name, Mr. Doorknob, knowing that Mr. Doorknob did not, knew that other people came here to collect this item, I'm going to follow the light, but I'm not going to turn on anything for myself because I'm hoping that he'll just lead me to where I need to go.
Okay.
And trust that because something 10 feet ahead of me has light, that will attract anything bad and not me.
For sure. Okay. As you are following this figure, the cavern closes a little bit.
Ugh. I am going to prepare a firebolt, though.
Okay.
I just think anything that spooks me.
All right. As the cavern closes and you enter this cave more and more, the fog completely surrounds you, and it's difficult to see. Not impossible, but difficult. And as you're following this light, you see it dip around a corner. And as you follow around that corner, you stop because you see the light has stopped in front of you. You see the torch has been planted into the ground. You can just barely see the silhouette of the figure there hunched over the torch. You can see oily gray and blue skin. You can see a black cloak. And you can see tentacles dropping from the front of its face. This figure appears very similar to another figure you had seen in a mirror.
This figure is just hunching over the light. What does it look like it's doing?
You see after a few seconds, reach into a back pocket, pull out a couple of what look like ingredients, start rubbing them together, and as the tentacles in the front of this Mind Flayer's face begin to writhe around, you can see incantations pouring forth from their mouth as they cast a spell that then engulfs them and their torch in invisibility.
Why is everyone invisible all the time? Oh, man. I'm gonna duck back around my I mean, okay. I did prepare a spell for getting spooked, so I guess, like, spooky vibes. Did I get spooked? Like...
Make a spooky vibes check.
I'm rolling like shit today. This is a bad sign for things to come. 8.
8.
7.
I mean, yeah, it's real spooky in here. And
but I
honestly,
know what that is.
it's yeah.
But I know that that's a red wolf creature, so I probably wouldn't want to bring attention to myself. So I guess, like, would I be able to...
Nothing became a present danger to you. So you would probably have the wherewithal to know. Nothing is currently attacking me.
Okay.
They just went invisible. Nothing's currently attacking you.
Okay, I'm going to just turn back around the corner to where I was out of the way and just, like, crouch down again and think for a second.
Okay.
Have I ever experienced a mind flayer in my life? Like, would I know what that is? Would I have any idea what this creature is?
You know what the creature is. You know of it. And this is only the second time that you've seen one in person, besides
the mirror.
The mirror. Yes.
Do I know what they do? Like, what do I know about them?
Make a history check for me.
12.
A 12. You know that generally they're pretty powerful creatures, and they can usually use their magic and their intellect to sort of dominate over a person's willpower.
Cool. Was there another way, a different corner to turn?
It's just the one.
It's just the one?
Just the one.
Just the
hallway.
one.
Yep.
What do I hear if I put my ear out to try and listen? What do I hear coming from that tunnel?
You hear just a slow coming from deeper within the cave.
So they're moving further into the cave?
It seems that this creature, whatever it is, has disappeared, vanished from your sight and your senses.
Do I see anything around myself that appears to be blue and glowing?
No, you don't.
Great. You just, like, look down. I should have taken the invisible cloak. I should have made a mistake. I knew I should have brought that. And I'm just, like, kicking myself for not having it. Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna put my hood up and light a torch.
Okay.
And put the doorknob in my pocket.
All right. And with your torch lit, you can still see the haze of this fog, but you can see much better now. Looking ahead now, you can see this cave continues forward, and you can see a split that goes in 3 different directions in front of you.
Okay.
So as you approach that split, you see one of them continues on directly forward, almost as like a continuation of this cavern. And you see one off to your right, just ahead, and then one to your immediate left.
What is the ground of this cavern?
As you're looking around, it is this deep black rock.
Okay.
Almost, it does remind you, it's sort of similar to the stones you had seen up top, but where those stones had been weathered and smoothed with the wind and the ocean, these ones are sort of more jagged.
Is it sandy at all?
There is a little bit of sand near this entrance, but the further and further you go in, there's less and less sand.
Do I see because there was sand, do I see, even though the creature went invisible, can I tell which direction they went in?
Oh, make a survival check for me.
5, 6.
5.
6.
6, you're looking down. There's just not enough sand at this point to find any footprints or anything.
Okay, would I have any idea, like, where something would grow? Do I have any idea that, like, which tunnel would lead to, like, to anything growing?
Make a nature check.
8.
8? I mean, you don't really have a lot of experience with underground plant life, and you just entered this cave. There's 3 different directions. They all look like they're sort of on equal levels. None of them are going down or up or anything. Everything's sort of on a flat plane, so it's tough to tell.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna take the one on the furthest right to start.
Furthest right, okay.
And I'm gonna take the doorknob out of my pocket and like try to carve into the wall to show like an X to say like I've been to this one already, and take that one.
Okay. All right. You move off towards the cavern to the right, and it sort of opens up into this slightly larger area. You have a little bit more room to take a breath. It's probably 15 feet in diameter. But directly in front of you, you see the walls come together, and the path forward becomes much more narrow.
Okay.
If you want to move forward here, you're going to have to really squeeze yourself through. But you do see a light coming from the other side.
Like a bunch of light, or like a lantern's worth of light,
you
or
see
like
probably,
a torch's worth of light?
Probably about a lantern, like a dying lantern's worth of light.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak through. I'm gonna try to push through, because the other creature was much bigger than me, right? Would it have been able to like squeeze its way through?
Looking at its size, probably not.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna squeeze myself's way through.
Okay. It takes you a couple minutes as the rock is pressing up against you, and you really have to scrape your way by. And as you're moving, and you sort of have to move one arm at a time, and then your shoulder, and then your chest, and then your other shoulder, and then your arm, you really have to navigate and maneuver your way through. It does open up, though, eventually. It opens up into a slightly larger cavern. And you look off to your left where you saw that glowing light, and you can see a lantern there on the ground, just almost ready to die. And right next to it, you see the armor-clad body of a man.
Oh no.
You see nearly all of his body completely decomposed into skeleton, except for his wrist up to his hand, where you see him clutching a piece of paper.
How far is he from me?
From where you exited this narrow space, he's about 10 feet to your left.
Do I see anyone, or can I see anything else in this cave?
No, just the body and the lantern.
I'm gonna go over to the body and look at the letter.
Okay, you pull it out of this body's hand, and you can see it's a ripped piece of parchment. And on it, in this dark charcoal, a very rudimentary sketch of a series of caverns. And looking at it, you start to look at the caverns drawn on the left, and you immediately recognize that as the entrance that you came in. And you sort of move your finger, and you follow the path to exactly where you are. And you can see the cavern is followed exactly on the map.
Whoa, it's huge.
Yeah, you see a massive series of caverns, and at the very end, in a very large cavern down at the very end of these tunnels, you see a skull drawn in with blood. And you can see just over the mouth of that skull, you can see squiggles coming down, possibly indicating tentacles, looking very similar to the creature that you had seen walking in.
At the end of one of the caverns?
At the end of this entire tunnel system, it seems.
Okay. So I can take that to mean that might be where it is. The like its home
Possibly.
base.
Yes.
So don't go there. Hopefully. Is there anything else I see? Like any other topography I see in this like rough drawn sketch? Like maybe here's where plants are that you might want to find. Or
you don't see a.
I don't see like a here's a thorn that you need right
no,
here.
you do not. But as you're looking down at this map, you feel what at first feels like a drop of water hit the back of your head as you're looking down at this map.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a cave. It's not unusual to find water in caves like this, but then it starts to burn the back of your head.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna turn my face to look up towards the water.
And you look up towards the ceiling, and you see this blob of transparent goop.
No!
Tiny little drop of goop
No.
drop down and land on your cheek. Sear into your cheek. You take 1 point of acid damage.
Ow.
As
I'm
you
gonna
see-
walk out. I'm gonna like step out of the way.
Yeah, as you see more and more of it drip down and you step out of the way, you see it begin to drip more and more and more. And all of a sudden, right near the entrance of this cavern that you had just come in through, this tiny little space, you see a cube beginning to form.
Can I get out of can I get some distance from it?
Definitely. Yeah, it is very slowly forming and sort of making itself with each drip. It's forming into this larger and larger cube.
What color is it?
It is this transparent, almost white color. It almost reminds you of the gel layer that's on your belt. It's sort of this white, almost semi-transparent, but it keeps dripping to 5 feet wide, 7 feet wide, 10 feet wide, as the rest of it drips from the ceiling.
I'm gonna get as much distance as I can from it.
Okay, you see another tunnel in front of you. Are you running around the corner into the next cavern?
Yes.
Okay. You run around the corner into the next cavern that opens up, and you see ahead of you, once again, a very small entranceway in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep running.
Okay, you
I'm
keep
gonna
running.
keep running.
You run towards that, and you begin to wedge yourself in between these rocks that are on either side of you. And as you get in between these two rocks, I'm going to have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
5.
5. You look around and you wedge yourself into this rock, and it feels like for a moment you're stuck, and your heart starts to jump out of your chest, and you begin to panic as you can all of a sudden see less and less with this fog approaching you on either side, and you can just barely see beyond it this massive cube moving towards you.
Oh, come on!
But eventually you are able to burst out of the other side into another open cavern. Here, you look to your right, and just through the fog, you can see another dead body. This one completely disintegrated into bones.
Does that one have anything that I can see I'm running past it?
You can see that all of the flesh has been completely removed from this body.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a layer of metal armor on the outside, and the skeleton hand clutching what looks to be a short sword.
Forget the short sword. I'm going to keep running, but I'm going to take that larger... I'm going to run to the end and see that there's a larger tunnel off to the side.
Okay. And you're going to duck towards the left, right?
Yes, towards the left at the larger tunnel.
Okay. And as soon as you duck into this tunnel, you see off to your right another large tunnel. You see in front of you a much smaller one. And in that large tunnel to your right, you look up towards the ceiling, and you see dripping down
No!
more.
Why are there so
Gelatinous
many? Oh, God.
gets bigger and bigger. What are you doing as it's continuing to grow?
I'm gonna put my hands up in front of me and throw a burning hands at level 2 at it.
Okay.
As I go, ah! And I just my hands meet a triangle in the center, and throw that out. I have to be a step forward though. I take a step forward.
Okay. All right.
So that's a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. Okay. That's a 3.
Fails.
It fails.
Good. I'm not the only one rolling like poop today. 46. Yay. Really good. 15 points of fire damage.
Okay. All right, 15 points of fire damage. You see some of one of the corners of the cube burned away, but it continues moving forward towards you.
I'm gonna run towards the smaller tunnel.
Okay, you run forward towards the smaller tunnel.
And I'm gonna use a key point to Step of the Wind. And also dash.
Okay.
As a bonus action.
As you are moving away from this gelatinous cube, you do also take note of just how slow it's moving.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be able to catch up to you, even barely at a walking speed. But you do get yourself up to this cavern, and you are able to just wedge yourself through. And as you continue wedging yourself, this isn't a small entryway. This is a very long and very tight tunnel. And as you begin moving and you're using your Step of the Wind, you are able to get through. And about halfway through, you're wedging yourself and you're focusing on your movement and you're focusing on your steps and you're breathing. And as you're moving through, all of a sudden you put your hands up and you bring your hand down and you look down and it's slimy. All of a sudden you look around. It's not rocks that you're putting your hands on. You look to your feet and you look up and all around you and you see this tunnel of flesh that is extending in front of you. And you look back to the tunnel behind you and you see the entire entryway, the entire tunnel that you've been crawling down is this pink, fleshy material that's pulsating as you move down.
I'm going to run as fast as I can to get out of this.
You move faster and faster and faster. And finally, after wedging yourself through nearly 60 feet of this tunnel, you're able to throw yourself out the other side, now covered in this clear goo.
I just collapse onto the ground and just... What the heck is this place? I'm gonna look around. I have no clue where I am in this tunnel. I have a map, but I just have no... I'm gonna look at the map really quickly, try to assess the turns I've made and where I could be now.
Okay. As you are doing that, and as you are looking around, you see a small tunnel off to your left. You could fit comfortably through it, but you do see a sort of pocket cavern off to the side, and you see drawn in to the left-hand corner a little red X. It's smeared there, as if someone smeared it there with their finger, with blood.
Oh, come on. Is X a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, I just want to go out of here. I need your help.
If you wanted to, you would be able to peek into the room to take a look without actually going there.
Yeah, physically. I want to do that.
Okay. You round the corner and you look into this cavern, and you can see off in the corner a dead campsite with a couple of boxes, a campfire that has long been extinguished, and several torches, as well as an open crate of food.
Okay, X marks the campsite. So I'm gonna go to the campsite.
Okay. And as you fully walk into this little pocket cavern, you can see just to your right a rope that goes up and around this entryway. And you can see it goes to a series of boards on the ceiling that have heavy rocks and boulders just above it. And you see probably if you pulled this rope, those boulders would probably collapse the doorway.
Okay, good to know. But then I would be stuck in here.
Yes.
But something else could be stuck in here too. Not really. Because they can move through things because they're goopy. Okay. What do I see at the campsite when I go closer to it, like in all of the crates?
You see it is mostly rations and food, as well as like sleeping supplies.
Okay. Do I see any potions?
Make an investigation check as you're going through these boxes.
I've been really good at that lately, so I feel really positive about this. 18.
18. Going through these crates, you don't see any. It's mostly food. It's mostly very, very basic things, and you're about to give up when you just lift up a blanket on the sleeping supplies and see 2 healing potions there.
Gotta take them both.
Okay.
They don't need them. Do I see any kind of like papers that I can look like if I ruffle through papers and any reason why they might be here?
Yes, you actually do see a as you're ruffling through, a contract that seems to be signed at the very bottom. It seems to have a payment amount in the amount of 500 gold pieces, with the contract of discovering a mind flare nest within these caves.
Just finding it?
Finding and exterminating.
Got it.
Yes.
500 gold only to find and destroy an entire nest? That seems a bit crazy. I'm gonna pocket the note though.
Okay.
Maybe
and
someone
as
else
you
will want
are
it.
going through this, you don't see anything yet, but you do hear the sloshing and the goopy sounds of the gelatinous cubes moving through that same tunnel that you had come through.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like they're too close yet, but you can just begin hear them moving towards you.
Sure, I'm gonna leave this area and just keep running, I guess. I'm gonna run through keep going through the cavern that I was in, towards the other entrance on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And left-hand side, I guess, and keep running.
As you run through that tunnel, I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw.
But why? Okay, 13.
13. Okay, you continue running. It's sort of a switchback. You're going back and forth, and you can't see too far in front of you when all of a sudden you round one of the corners, and in front of you, taking up the entire space of the cavern, you see a shadowy black face with pinpointed eyes and a gnarling, sharp-toothed smile reaching out to the entire expanse of the face. As its mouth opens up and moves towards you, what are you doing?
Does it look human?
It looks remotely human, but massive.
I throw my hands up in front of my face and cast Burning Hands.
Okay, that's a dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
That's a 12.
Fails. 14 points of fire damage. And wild magic, 17.
Okay. As you cast this spell, the teeth begin to open up wider and wider, and the mouth almost expands into this impossible insect-like visage. And as you cast this, as the fire burns over it, you can see the skin of this creature burns away into ashes as nothing but teeth fall to the ground. These sharp, bladed teeth.
What? But it's gone?
It is gone.
Can I pick up the teeth?
You reach down and you almost cut yourself with how sharp and long these teeth are. But you're able to grab one, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the teeth and like wrap them in some tear some fabric from my shirt, wrap them up in the fabric and keep them in case I need them.
Okay.
Or I don't know what, but they're very
right.
sharp.
Okay, are you continuing to run down this tunnel?
Yes.
Okay, you switch back to your left, right, left. All of a sudden into a much larger tunnel. And you look around and you realize you are at the entrance once more.
No, come on! Okay. So that one didn't work. And that one didn't work. I'm not even getting very far. I'm gonna try the left tunnel.
Okay. You begin to go down the left tunnel. And it is once again a very tight squeeze as you're switching back and forth and back and forth. But eventually it does open up into a larger cavern where you look on the other side and you once again see a massive black face made of shadow, pinpoint white eyes, the sharp, jagged teeth, but this time with long hands and arms. And it reaches for you. And that is going to be as it swipes with these long fingers and claws. You're just able to duck down as these claws swipe over the top of you. What are you doing?
Casting Firebolt in its direction.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
Okay, 17 points of damage.
17 points. As this firebolt emanates from your hands, it disperses the fog completely around it. As the firebolt fires through the air, it leaves this tunnel of fog in its wake as it hits the creature. The creature smiles and opens its mouth as you can hear what sounds like 100 different people screaming all at once as it plants both of its hands on the ground and pulls its long body and stretches it up through the rocks and through the dirt. It's going to start moving towards you.
Go away, go away, go away!
And as it does, it's going to swipe out one more time with its claws. Does a 15 hit?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, it swings its hand up and tries to drive it into the ground, but you're just able to sidestep it out of the way. What are you doing?
I'm casting a Chaos Bolt at it.
Okay.
How close is it to me?
It is 10 feet away from you.
Can I back up from it without getting how long is it?
As it attacked you, its arm unnaturally elongated to reach for you, and then as the attack was over, it receded back into a normal length. So it probably wouldn't be able to attack you from this distance.
I'm gonna back up some then.
Okay,
yeah.
How far?
I see there's a little indent in the wall, and I'm gonna back myself into that. Kind of like covered a little bit, so I have a little bit of cover.
Yeah.
And like peek out and throw the Chaos Bolt at it.
Okay.
Pull my hands together, roll, open them up as I form the ball between them, and throw it as it's changing various colors. And try that again. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
13 points of... Hold, please. 13 points of cold damage.
Okay. As this Chaos Bolt merges with this creature...
My wild magic is below what it needs to be. Should I tell you that before you tell me what happens?
Okay,
or
we'll do the wild magic first.
It's a 3.
Okay. I'm going to roll this. D100.
Oh, God. I don't want to be here anymore. It's too scary. I don't want to be here. There's too many things.
As this cold effect takes over this shadowy, dark creature, you can see its skin completely crystallize and tense up and completely harden in ice. And it freezes completely in motion. All of a sudden, the fingers begin to crack with the ice, and the ice begins to break and crumble down to the ground as the entire creature shatters and falls to the ground, leaving in its place one humanoid body curled up in the fetal position on the ground. As you're confused for a moment, you feel your wild magic take over you and consume your body, and you feel a surge of power as it dissipates. And you don't know what it does yet.
I just feel a surge of power.
Feel a surge of power for a moment, as you don't know the effect yet.
Can I walk towards the body?
Yes, you do. You can, yes.
I'm gonna, kick it with my toe gently.
Ugh.
Are you alive?
Olma? You look down as this body unfurls itself from the fetal position, and you see Xavier.
Xavier? Xavier, what are you doing here?
What am I doing? What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing here?
Where are we?
We're in a cave. Have you been here this whole time?
I don't know I don't know. I can't remember.
Xavier, there was a creature, and I froze it, and it shattered, and then you turned up. Is it really you?
I don't remember any of that.
Does he feel, if I kick him again, does he feel human?
It feels real, yeah.
Tell me something only you would know. Where did you find the farm that I came from?
Sunbloom, why?
Can I insight check him? Can I make sure that this is the right person? That this is actually Xavier?
Yeah, make an insight check for me.
Okay. 13?
13? That is an answer really only you and Xavier know.
Xavier, what's the last thing you remember? I'm gonna reach out to help him up.
I was... And he sort of takes your hand and sort of creakily stands up. I was with Zeta, moving away from Addersfeld. I opened up a portal for you, and then I teleported back, and I can't remember anything after that.
Do I think that the big, burst of magic I felt, the big burst of energy that I felt, do I feel like maybe I caused someone to teleport?
It feels like that energy is still stored within you. It does
Okay.
not feel like that energy was released.
Xavier, I don't know how the heck you got here. Do you know of any creatures with, teeth like this? And I'll pull the teeth out. And they're dark, and they're, really, really scary, and they smile, and they have really dark eyes, really scary eyes.
Olma, listen to me right now. We need to do whatever you were here to do, and we need to leave. We need to do it as quickly as we possibly can, okay? Can you do that for me?
Well, yeah, but what were those things?
It is something very dangerous, and we will die here if we do not move quickly.
Did they get you?
I told you, I can't remember. As you hear sloshing of gelatinous cubes moving through the corridor that you just came through.
Okay, well, I need to find a cactus thorn, cactus thorn, and it's to save Shraya because he's dying.
Okay, I got it. Okay, which way are we moving?
Straight forward. I don't know, I've been running from these...
Straight forward.
I've just been running from these big, giant, goopy cubes, and they're so gross, and they're really scary, and they burnt my cheek, and I've just been running from them this whole time.
As you see the gelatinous cubes rounding the corner and merging with the stone. Okay, then let's move. Olma, you lead the way.
Okay. I'm going to have the map in front of me. I'm just going to keep running. I have the doorknob and the map. I'm going to run. Straight ahead, I guess.
Okay, straight ahead. You see a fork in the tunnel, one going right, one continuing straight on. Where are you going?
Do I see any moss growing, any kind of anything growing? Do I have any reason to believe that we're getting closer to?
Yes, as you moved closer down, closer towards the end of the tunnel, or as you moved, I'll say this, as you moved further into the tunnel, you began to see more moss growing. You began to see some vines dropping from cracks in the rocks. You do see more plants the deeper you go in. When you began to switch back and came back towards the entrance, you were seeing more sand on the ground, not as much plant life.
Okay, well, Xavier, if we go this way, it's a dead end. It's gonna end soon. But if we go this way, it's gonna go forward and maybe to something really, really scary. Really, really, really scary. So do I see more plant growth on one end or the other?
You do see more on the tunnel that is straight ahead. Yes.
Xavier, I think there's a mind flayer in here too. Invisible.
Okay, this is very bad. Olma, we need to be very quick with what we need to do.
Okay, let's go this way, and we're gonna run towards where there's more plant life.
Okay, You begin to run and dart through this cavern. As you approach, it begins to get smaller and smaller and smaller into this next area. You're able to duck and weave under these rocks, but it is taking Xavier a lot more time as he is much larger than you. As you're able to duck through, you get to this sort of middle point, this little break in the narrowness of the cavern, and you see Xavier is still only about halfway through. As Xavier begins to scream, "Ah! Ah!"
Xavier, can you move the rocks? Can you do anything?
It's something. And you begin to hear.
Oh no, Xavier!
As he begins to pull his way through, he reaches out for your hand.
I'm gonna reach in to try and pull him.
Okay, you run over and you reach and you try and pull him. I'm gonna have you make an athletics check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You grab onto him and you yank and you pull him directly into this cavern. As you look behind him, you see another gelatinous cube beginning to form from the rocks around you.
Another one?
And as you look down at Xavier, you see from halfway down his calf down to his foot has been completely disintegrated. All flesh has been completely removed, and there is now just a stub of a bone.
Oh, Xavier, do you know how to get rid of these things?
I don't. Olma, we just need to keep moving. They're slow. Keep moving.
Okay. I'm gonna push him in front of me.
Okay, you push him in front of you.
And I'm gonna, push him the whole way through.
Okay, that is definitely gonna help his speed as the cavern narrows once more, and you're able to push him all the way through. There is sort of a sticky point towards the very end where his shoulders get trapped in between two rocks, but with your help just behind him, you're able to just push him through. He gets a pretty big slash on his shoulder through one of the rocks that juts into his shoulder, but he is through into this much larger cavern.
Here, Xavier, and I'm gonna throw him one of the health potions that I had earlier.
Okay, he takes it. He doesn't drink it, though.
Oh.
He leans down next to you and he looks in your eyes and he says, "You're going to need this more than I will." And he hands it back to you and shoves it in your bag.
But you don't have a leg!
Olma will be fine. Trust me. As he snaps his fingers and lights a fire between the two of his, his finger and his thumb. As he concentrates, the fire becomes more and more intense and more pinpointed. And as he releases his fingers, it expands out through his hand as he sears and cauterizes the wound of his leg. Okay, we're moving. Olma, which way?
If I look down at the map, what do I see when I look down at the map?
You see it goes, one tunnel goes left and one tunnel goes right, but then they meet up in the exact same spot at the end.
Okay, I'm gonna take the left tunnel.
Okay, tunnel on the left.
Do I see more plants growing in that way?
You actually see more plants growing on the right.
Okay, I'm gonna take the right then.
Okay, you dart down the right.
I'm looking at the walls.
Yes,
do I see any kind of blue growth? Anything?
You are seeing it is transitioning from more moss and vines to more bioluminescent plants. You don't see anything that was described like the cactus yet. You do see some flowers growing that are giving off some light, but nothing that was described to you like the cactus yet. But now you are seeing more bigger foliage and more dense plant life.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving.
Okay. And as you continue moving on, you come up to a final tunnelway.
But I haven't seen anything since, coming here?
Throughout this entire cavern, it looks like it's just getting more and more overgrown with plants. As you're looking back and forth, you do not see anything that looks like the cactus.
Xavier, if we go any further, I think it's a nest.
Olma, it's to save your friend.
But how can I save him if I'm dead?
Olma, that metal will not be able to be disintegrated without this thorn.
How do you know about the metal?
What do you mean?
Well, you weren't with us. How do you know about the metal?
You told me 2 caverns back.
No.
Olma, we need to... Olma. Face begins dripping. And you can see his cheek begins to drip and turn into this black slime as it falls onto the ground. He falls, his shoulder limp. He falls onto the ground and completely collapses into this puddle of black goop.
Oh my gosh.
Moving forward, you only have one cavern left to go into.
But I haven't seen anything like this anywhere else I've been.
No, you have not.
Okay, but now I'm thinking that this fake Xavier was forcing me to go forward because he knows that there's something at the end, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Looking at the map, this is the only cavern that you have not been in yet.
Okay. It's for Shraya. I'm gonna slowly creep my way forward.
You slowly creep your way forward. And you see it opens up into a cavern much larger than any of the other caverns in the previous caves and tunnels. You can see flowers growing on all sides, lighting this room up with this green and blue bioluminescent light. You see a pillar in the center of this room with a small metal device on the top, right next to the pillar. Fallen on the ground, you see the decayed body of a huge orc reaching up for the pillar, dead on the ground.
But it's something on the pillar?
There is a mechanical device on the pillar in the center of the room.
And someone dead trying to reach it?
Someone dead trying to reach up for it.
That's probably an important pillar then. I'm gonna run for the pillar.
Okay. As you run for the pillar, you get 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet closer. And all of a sudden, apparating out of nowhere, you see the same shadowy figure with pinpointed eyes and a long smile apparate right in between you and the pillar. I'm gonna have you roll initiative.
5.
All right, the shadow, now fully forming itself, you begin to see an inky black skin. As you can see now, the bioluminescent light shining off of it, creating this glossy effect over the entire body. It's going to reach its hand out and swipe at you with its claw.
No!
That's going to be a 9 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
It does not hit, but as it swipes at you, you can feel the air move around the swipe of this arm that's elongating to come in and try and meet you. And you immediately feel the weight behind this swipe. What are you doing?
He's 15 feet ahead of me.
Yes, he's 15 feet ahead of you.
I'm gonna plant my feet into the ground, put my hands forward into a triangle, and at 3rd level, I'm gonna cast Burning Hands right in his face.
Which saving throw?
Dex.
That's a 4.
Fails.
Okay. Now, as you do this, roll. As you feel this energy burst from within you, roll as though it is a 5th level spell, not a 3rd level.
Okay.
Roll the damage of what it would be at a 5th level.
I think I just add more. So it's 66 at 4th level, so 76 at 5th level.
7d6.
Can I?
As you feel this burst of energy that you had been holding on to for the last few minutes finally release itself.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 6. 10, 14, 20, 21 points of fire damage plus wild magic. 16.
Okay, are you moving at all?
I'm gonna keep moving forward.
Okay, and as you do, this creature almost moves in tandem with you to try and always keep itself positioned in between you and the pillar as you move.
What happened when I did the 21 points of damage? What did it look like?
It seared off portions of this inky black skin. As you can see, this interconnected web of black muscle underneath the skin. But as you run closer to the pillar, it continues to position itself in between you and the pillar.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, it is going to reach out with both of its hands and try and swipe at you with its claws. It's an 11 to hit.
No.
And a 13 to hit.
No.
It swipes out with both of its claws, and you are just able to avoid the attacks. Once again, you can feel the wind blowing, and it almost creates, just like your firebolt had done, it creates this vacuum within the fog around you before it then comes back into its normal state.
I'm going to use a meta magic
Okay.
to cast Quicken Spell. And I'm going to cast a spell as a bonus action and then another spell right afterwards.
Okay.
I'm running out of spell slots, so I'm going to use a 4th level spell to try and just I'm saving that. I'm going to cast 2 1st level spells. That's what I've got left.
Okay.
So, Chaos Bolt. I put my hands together and I, as a bonus action, I pull them apart and throw a ball of warbling massive energy at it for Chaos Bolt.
Okay.
An 18 plus 7.
That hits.
Yeah. So that one is going to be 11 points of cold damage.
11 points of cold damage.
Natural 20.
Okay, nice.
The waste of a natural 20. For someone who's been rolling so terribly. So that was my bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Burning Hands at it again. So it's
All
frozen.
right.
I did cold damage and now I'm going to do fire damage. So
Okay.
I have put my hands together and faster than normal, I've pulled the ball of the warbling massive energy and I've tossed it at it. And then I keep my hand forward as I've tossed it and bring the other arm to it. And right away, my fingers create a triangle and I cast Burning Hands. And it's a dex saving throw.
Okay. All right, that is a 17 to hit. 17 on the dex saving throw.
That saves, but
Okay.
takes half damage. 4 points of fire damage.
4 points of fire damage. Okay.
And 1 more wild magic. 4. I think that's right at...
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it was. Okay, we got another wild magic. Okay, rolling a D100.
Your face! Your face!
Let me see.
So as I've sent the last thing of burning energy towards it, burning fire towards it, I said, "You're not Xavier!" And I threw that at him.
Okay. As you do, the ground begins rumbling beneath your feet. You see rocks begin to drop and fall from the ceiling. You look to your right and you can see one of the entrances into this cave completely collapses and closes in. And a massive rock falls from the ceiling and completely shatters through this creature in front of you, completely dissipating it into nothing. You continue to feel the ground rumble as rocks begin to fall. You can feel the ground around you begin to unstabilize.
I'm gonna jump over the rock that landed on him and push the piece goes and push whatever is down on the.
Okay, you look and you see there's the mechanical
pillar.
device there, and you can see it's very small, only about 6 inches in diameter. It's a circle, and on the top, it's got a little opening. And from the opening, spewing out fog, mist. The same fog that has been
Chasing me this whole time.
encapsulating the entire tunnel. What would you like to do with it?
It's a latch that's open or it's a latch that's closed?
It's a small circular device. You see a button on the side of it, and it has got just an opening on the top that has fog spewing out.
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
gonna push the button.
You push the button. The opening on the top closes. You feel the fog around you dissipate. The caverns open up. You can now see back the caverns. You look down underneath the rock that had just smashed this creature. You don't see any creature. You look back over towards where Xavier was, that he had melted. You don't see any goop on the ground. And as this fog dissipates around you, from the flowers and the vines that were on all of the rocks around you, you begin to see almost like inflating cactus.
Oh, the object Does it move or is it stuck on the pillar?
It can move. You can pick it up.
I'm going to pick it up and pocket it.
Okay.
And, well, as I pick it up, I'm going to hold onto the doorknob and replace the weight with the doorknob and pat the doorknob.
It seems to be a perfect match for weight. And as you're looking around and you see all of these cactuses finally blooming, now no longer in the presence of the fog, some of the cactuses up towards the top corner begin to grow and grow. And it causes some vines to move out of the way. And you can see, set in stone there, a massive stone doorway. You can see just at the foot of it, footsteps just leading into it. Look like the same footsteps that you had seen from the mind flare before. But it looks like a massive stone door, and it does look closed.
Okay. I don't want to go to the stone door.
Okay.
That's enough for me to know.
Okay.
I'm going to pull the map out and, cut my finger on the wall of the rock.
Okay.
And just mark a little line where the doorway is.
Okay.
And leave it there and just let it kind of sit there. And I'm gonna how many cacti would I be able to get out of here in my backpack? I don't know how big they are. Thorns. How many thorns?
Thorns you would be able to take if you wanted to take the time and pluck each and every one of them. They're only about 2 inches long.
Okay.
You'd be able to get a couple hundred if you wanted to.
Do I know how many I need?
The lady did just say one.
One?
Yeah.
Okay, well, but Mr. Doorknob told me that I needed a lot, or that they were very valuable. So I am gonna take 5 minutes to,
okay.
Unless I hear a really loud sound.
Yeah.
If I don't hear any sounds, I'm gonna take maybe 5 minutes to harvest a lot, because I know that they're good for healing, and that maybe I could either sell them or even give them to people in need. And so I'm gonna take as many as I can.
I'm gonna have you make 2 sleight of hand checks.
Okay.
The first one.
22.
22. Okay, you're able to get 22 of these thorns. Make another sleight of hand check.
8.
8. As you're plucking out these 22, you prick yourself on 8 of them and take 8 points of piercing damage.
And that's all 5 minutes?
That's the 5 minutes.
Okay, then I'm gonna leave as
Okay.
quickly as I can.
As you do, you feel the ground that was shaking sort of level off. And then it begins shaking once more as you can feel the ground around you begin to unstabilize.
Okay, I get it.
And you continue you run out. And as you pass through each corridor, the tunnels that you had to squeeze yourself through are a little bit bigger. They don't seem as claustrophobic. And as you duck in and out, you pass through the tunnel that had the fleshy walls, and it's rock once more. But you're able to dart in and out of these caves and in and out of these tunnels fairly quickly, and you see the light on the beach as you finally exit the tunnel.
I am gonna run out onto the beach, far enough away from the cave that I don't feel like a glob is gonna come after me, and then I'm just gonna collapse onto the sand.
Okay.
I don't like that. I never want to do that again. Oh. And I just start crying. And I'm gonna. Where is the sun in the sky right now? I knew I had about 14 hours. How much time do I feel like has elapsed?
You know that you went into the cave a little bit after sunrise. You look up at the sun and it's probably afternoon, mid-afternoon.
Okay, so I have not a lot of time.
You do not have a lot of time left.
Okay, and I rub off my face from the sand, and the sand is kind of caked onto my face because of the tears, and so I'm just trying to get it off as much as I can. Okay, Shraya needs me. gotta go. And I'm gonna just run to the stairs, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna try and make it back to town as quickly as possible.
Okay.
But as I'm passing the house, I'm gonna knock on the door. I'm sorry, I lost your doorknob. I can't fix your door. I gotta go, but I'm alive. In case you wondered.
And as you are sprinting away, you are running back towards town, and you just take one moment to look back towards the house. And you can see just perfectly silhouetted in one of the windows on the second floor, a figure standing there, just giving you a little small wave. As you begin dashing
I wave back and I'm dashing.
Back towards town. That is where we're going to end this episode. We're going to call it right there. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week.
Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Hey, nerds, it's Ethan. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, share, and subscribe on all platforms. Hey, Rodney, I got a couple of quick questions for you.
Yeah.
Does Ventureforth have a Discord?
Yes.
Is Ventureforth on Instagram?
Yeah, check.
How about Twitter?
Yep.
I mean, they can't be on YouTube. Are they on YouTube?
Absolutely on the YouTube.
That's great. And now I hear that there's this new app that all the kids are using called TikTok.
Oh, let me tell you that there is that app, and also the Ventureforth is on it.
Oh my, Rodney, you're blowing my mind right now. This is incredible. I will go and I will subscribe to each of those different platforms and follow them just to make sure that I'm up to date on all things Ventureforth. Thanks for letting me know that, Rodney.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to let you know.
Thanks for the opportunity to give you the opportunity to let you know.
Oh man, there's so much opportunity
Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.